Each exercise will be done for 20 seconds with a 10-second rest in between each one. Our first couple of exercises will require a wall to lean against. Our first exercise is going to be toe raises. For this one, you'll lean against a wall, walk your feet out a little bit, and lift your toes up as high as possible while keeping your heels on the ground. Our next exercise will be calf raises. You'll want to make sure that your feet are all the way together and that your heels are touching. From there, you'll lift up as high as possible on your toes. During this exercise, you'll want to focus on keeping your ankles and heels squeezed together as tight as you can. You'll want to try to go up as fast as possible and down as slowly as possible. Next, we'll be doing a wall sit. For this one, you'll lean your back against a wall and slide down like you're sitting in a chair. You'll want to make sure that your feet are directly underneath your knees. During this exercise, you'll want to make sure that your arms are either on your hips or up by your ears. You want the tops of your legs to be nice and flat like a tabletop. Our next exercise is frog jumps. For this one, you'll keep your knees together, reach down and touch the floor, and jump up as high as you can with your arms by your ears. During this exercise, you'll want to make sure that you squat all the way down and get your bottom to your heels. You'll also want to focus on having straight legs and pointed toes while you're in the air. Our next exercise will be lunges. For this one, you'll start with your feet together, take a big step forward to touch your back knee to the ground, and quickly stand back up and slide your feet together. During this exercise, you'll want to focus on taking a really big step forward and making sure that your knee doesn't go in front of your foot. We always want our foot in front of our knee to prevent knee injuries. You'll also want to focus on tapping your back knee to the ground nice and softly instead of slamming it to the ground. For our next exercise, we're going to do the exact same thing, but on the other leg this time. For our next exercise, we'll be doing sumo squats. For this one, you'll start your feet really far apart with your feet facing out. Then you'll squat down to get your hips even with your knees. During this exercise, you'll want to make sure that your feet are far enough apart that your knees won't go over your toes whenever you squat. Our next exercise is high knee runs in place. For this one, you'll try to get your knees up as high as possible while using nice running arms. During this exercise, you'll want to focus on getting your knees up as high as possible, and you'll want to focus on your arms moving from your chin height to your hips height. Our next exercise is Nadia rolls. For this one, you'll roll back to a candlestick, roll up to your feet without using your hands to stand up, and do a big tight jump. During this exercise, you'll want to focus on shooting your toes straight up to the ceiling and squeezing your bottom. You'll also want to try to stand up without using your hands and squeeze your knees together nice and tight. Our next exercise is clamshells. For this one, you'll lift your heels up off of the floor, squeeze them together and then separate your knees and bring them back together. During this exercise, you'll want to focus on separating your knees as much as possible while keeping your feet glued together. Next, we're going to do the exact same thing, but on the other side.